Welcome to AHRC TV and the year's first episode of Just Asia. Here are the headlines. Justice for Sri Lanka rape victim after 14 years. Perpetrators convicted. Fifth Hong Kong book publisher disappears. Fears of China sidestepping one country, two systems deepen. Somchai Nilapajit's disappearance remains unsolved. Thailand's Supreme Court acquits the 5 accused officers. A year on since Charlie Hebdo massacre in Paris, freedom of expression face unprecedented challenges worldwide. Welcome to AHRC TV's Just Asia. I'm Josephina Bergström. We begin in Sri Lanka, where a Nuwara High Court judge has sentenced the 2 accused in a 14-year-old rape case. Pial Nalake and Tuanan Rames have been handed sentences of 23 years rigorous imprisonment, 18 years for the rape and 5 years for the abduction that preceded the rape. The 2 will also have to pay 200,000 rupees in fines each to the victim as compensation. The victim, Rita, was only 17 years old at the time. She was abducted and raped in broad daylight after Sunday school in 2001. Rita managed, in the face of severe trauma and pain, to make her way to a police station and identify the perpetrators on the very same day of the attack. Despite this, 14 years of court appearances, cross-examinations and threats followed. With the assistance of the Human Rights Office in Kandy and many others, Rita was able to stay committed and see the case through to the end. Over the years, the case was called before 9 different judges in Kandy and Nuwara. The prosecution was led by 16 state councils, and more than 20 different lawyers have appeared on behalf of the victim. Not the most effective use of court resources, one might argue. The High Court judge, Lalit Ekanayake, noted that the serious delay in concluding this rape case had been rightly criticized both locally and internationally, but that it has been caused by certain practical difficulties in the judicial system. He claimed that the judgment had at no point been influenced by any party. Many of the human rights defenders who have supported Rita over the years have spoken in admiration of her courage, integrity, and determination to get justice. Just Asia caught up with Rita and with Father Nandane, who stood by Rita for the duration of her ordeal.
අපි මේ කියන කවුරුත් මාත්‍රික කතා කරන්න අපි ගෙදරට යන්න එන්න බැරුව කවුරුත් නෑ අපි අයින් කෙරුවා වගේ තිබ්බා. ඒ වගේ ගොඩක් ඊට පස්සේ මම ගෙදර ඉඳලා ආවිලා ආයි තැන් වල ඉඳ සිද්ධ වුණා. ඒක එක තැනක් කියලා කියන්න බෑ ගොඩක් තැනක් හිටියා. ඒ වගේ ඒ ඉඳලා මම වෙන තැනක ගමේ ඉඳලා එවිලා පිටරණක ඉඳලා මම ඉස්කෝලේ යන්න සිද්ධ වුණා. ඉස්සර කාලේ මම අවුරුදු 14 විඳ දුක ඒ කට්ටිය අද ඒ දුක ඒ කට්ටිය අද විඳිනවා කියලා මම හිතනවා. නඩුව අතාරින්න ඕනේ කියලා නම් කවදාවත් කොච්චර කාලෙක කමන්නේ ඒ නඩුව දිනන්නකම් ඉන්නවා කියලා විශ්වාසයක් තිබ්බා. අද අමාරුයි මට මෙච්චර දුරකට මේ අවුරුදු 14 මේ නඩුව අරන් යන්න මේ ඔෆිස් එකේ තිබ්බේ ඉඳලා මට ගොඩාක් ශක්තියක් උනේ. හැම දෙයකටම මේ ඔෆිස් එකේ තිබ්බින්ද මේ අවුරුදු 14 මේ නඩුව දිනා ගන්න හේතුවක් තිබ්බේ මේ ඔෆිස් එකෙන්. අවුරුදු 2-3 ඉවර වෙනා මේක ගොඩාක් හොඳයි කියලා හිතුණා. ඒ වුණත් මෙච්චර කාල ගියේ කියලා මට දන්නේ ඒ මේ ඒත් අවුරුදු 14ක් කියන්නේ ගොඩාක් සෑහෙන කාලයක්. ඉතින් ඊට වඩා අවුරුදු 2-3කින් ඔක ඉවර කරලා තිබ්බන ගොඩාක් හොඳයි කියලා මට හිතෙනවා.
In the case of Rita, Rita, among many other victims, we see as somebody who is a model because of 2 things. The first thing is Without anyone's advice, Rita herself went to the police. Even before she went home, even before she told the mother, even before she met anybody else, she directly went to the police station. That means from the beginning she was seeking justice. And at no point during the trials, during the last 14-15 years, that she never tried to withdraw. She always kept on seeking for justice. And I know that there are so many other victims of rape who are not being helped or assisted by organizations or other groups. And also it depends on the willingness on the part of the victim. Even to our office there have been so many victims who have come, rape victims. But some have given halfway. They have not proceeded until the end, because the system takes a long time, and they do not, sometimes even if the victim is willing, sometimes the families are not willing. Sometimes because of many other social reasons, they tend to withdraw. So here I think Rita is a model, because from the beginning she was fighting for justice. Assisting Rita to seek justice, actually we had to face many challenges. First and foremost, because these perpetrators from the same village who were having their food and fruit stalls in the market, known people in the town, friends of the police, Rita could not any longer stay in the same house. She could not go to the same school, and there were so many challenges to Rita and to her family. So the first and foremost what we did was we got Rita out from the house or from the environment. We had to find new schools to Rita, and after she completed her studies, then she had to go for other employment preparation studies, and we had to give security protection, legal, psychological, medical, and other assistance to Rita and also to her family. And since there were 3 cases going on after the non-summary trial in the magistrate court, the High Court case started in Kandy and then later on transferred to Nuwara. And we also filed another case in the district court for compensation. So often we had to prepare Rita, bring her, and also find places for her accommodation, and also to keep steady with her mind. Then we had to send her for regular trauma counseling, and this became a challenge because the case was going on for many years. But we are actually happy to know that apart from many other, out of many other victims, Rita had one focus in mind, that is justice, and therefore we were able to help her.
Next, Just Asia reports from Hong Kong, which is witnessing a potentially worsening situation for press freedoms and law enforcement independence in the territory. Yet another book publisher has disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Li Bo, co-owner of Mighty Current Publishing House, is now one of 5 people associated with the same company to have disappeared since October. The company is known for publishing books critical about Chinese Communist Party elite members, often with scandalous details about their private lives. The books have proved popular with mainland tourists who have no access to such books in government-censored Chinese bookshops. The abducted include the bookshop's owner, Swedish citizen Gui Minhai, who was abducted from his holiday home in Thailand. The other 4 have disappeared from Hong Kong or China. Li Bo disappeared on December 30th after visiting the company warehouse in Chai Wan in Hong Kong. Bo's wife subsequently got a strange call from her husband originating from across the border in China, although there is no record of him having crossed the border and his travel documents are still at his home in Hong Kong. Here is Agnes Chow, member of Hong Kong's democracy group Scholarism, who published a video commentary about the disappearances and what it means for Hong Kong.
I'm Agnes Chow, a member from Scholarism, a students' activist organization in Hong Kong. I have an important message that I hope to spread to the world, which is related to a bookseller who suddenly disappeared and has been abducted to the mainland China. A Hong Kong bookseller named Li Bo, who sold books criticizing the Communist Party of China and banned political books, suddenly went missing. Weeks after 4 of his associates disappeared strangely. With the protection of Sino-British Joint Declaration, Hong Kongers are able to obtain personal safety and basic human rights under rule of law. Unlike the mainland China, Hong Kong did not adopt authoritarian governance. Citizens who sell politically sensitive books were not supposed to be suppressed by any threats of disappearance and imprisonment, with the existence of freedom of press and speech. In the past, we were safe because we lived in Hong Kong instead of mainland China. However, the circumstances have changed with the abduction, which was suspected to be done by the police in China towards this bookseller who kept being low profile before. With no departure record of Li, and his home return permit card is left at his home in Hong Kong, it can be speculated that the police from the mainland organized cross-border arrests to threaten people in Hong Kong. If the above speculation is true, it indicates that the erosion of one country, two systems in the basic law of Hong Kong. We feel that Hong Kong is not Hong Kong anymore. It is named as Hong Kong only.
We continue with another report of a disappearance, this time in Thailand. On December 29th, Thailand's top court upheld the acquittal of the 5 police officers accused of abducting Thai human rights lawyer Somchai Nilapajit in 2004. Witnesses have said they saw Somchai forced into a car on a busy Bangkok street at night, and he has not been heard from since. The final decision in the Supreme Court means that the case remains unsolved after more than a decade, and no one is now likely to ever be held responsible for disappearing Somchai. This is despite the Thai government at the time, headed by Thaksin, admitting involvement in the abduction. But because his body has not been found, no murder charges can be brought. The judges ruled that under Thai law, Somchai's family has no right to bring a civil case because there was no evidence to show he was dead or seriously injured. The Asian Human Rights Commission released a statement after the latest acquittal, reading, "There are sinister implications to the Supreme Court's verdict. If a group of state agents succeed not only in killing a victim but also in making them disappear, they have a greater chance of escaping liability for their crime on the basis of the verdict of the Supreme Court in this case. The burden of proving an enforced disappearance is thereby cast on the disappeared person himself." And finally, Just Asia ends this week's episode with a short note on the first anniversary of the brutal attack on the offices of Charlie Hebdo in Paris by extremists, which left 11 people dead and 12 wounded. PEN International, along with dozens of free speech organizations and writers worldwide, have published an open letter reaffirming their commitment to the defense of the right to freedom of expression, even when that right is being used to express views that some may find offensive. After the attack in Paris a year ago, governments have instead, motivated by security concerns, largely responded by reducing freedoms and encouraging self-censorship. The letter states that the attack was a horrific reminder of the violence to which journalists, artists, and other critical voices are subjected in a global atmosphere marked by increasing intolerance of dissent. The killings inaugurated a year that has proved especially challenging for proponents of freedom of opinion. Despite the turnout of world leaders on the streets of Paris in an unprecedented display of solidarity with free expression following the Charlie Hebdo murders, artists and writers faced intense repercussions from governments throughout the year. Just Asia will continue to report on the shrinking space of freedoms of expression in Asia and across the world in the coming year. That is all for this Just Asia. For more on these and other issues, please visit www.humanrights.asia. Thank you for watching and see you again next week.